Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to RCRC. That is the Relationship Connection with Ronald and Charlie, where we equip, empower, and educate couples on how to thrive in their relationships. How? Through candid conversations right here on this platform. I am Charlie Willis, a mental health therapist.
I'm Ronald Willis, a marriage and family therapist, and today we'll be discussing why women don't submit. First, let's watch this clip.
Okay, so here's the information regarding getting another car.
Okay.
All right, this is how much you made. This is how much I made, and then these are all our bills. And then, as you can see, the amount of bills we got. So I took the amount of bills and subtracted from how much we make, and then this is what we got. And then, as you can see, that's not enough, for another monthly payment for a car. So, it's something we can't do now, but definitely we could do it later though.
Later when?
Just looking at it, we pay off this bill, and that bill, probably about 8 to 12 months, maybe another year or something like that. But now, we need to pay those bills off, and then we'll be able to.
Okay. That's too long. That's too long. You just need to get another job.
Get another job?
Yeah.
You need to get another job.
Get another job.
Charlie, already working 12, 14 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours a day. We get another job, doing 20 hours a day, get 4 hours of sleep. I ain't gonna do that.
Well, how are we gonna make this happen?
We're gonna wait 8 to 12 months to pay off these bills. And I'm not gonna get another job. When I'm gonna get some sleep? When I'm gonna get some rest? When I'm gonna eat? When I'm gonna do this? When I'm gonna do this? When I'm gonna work all day for another car?
Figure it out.
I ain't finna do that. I tell you what then, if you want another car, you get another job. You don't want the car, right? I don't want the car, you do. So if anybody get a second job, it ain't gonna be me, it'll be you. I'm not gonna do that.
There was definitely no submission in that clip.
Not at all. You just weren't hearing it, huh?
Right.
You really wanted that car, man. So, but I will say it did start off, with some effective leadership, and of course the response was a lack of submission, which caused another response, which ultimately became a lack of leadership.
Yeah, definitely.
So, definitely, the car was more important than what was going on.
Right.
Want that car by any means necessary. I want this car.
Yes.
And you're going to have to do what it takes to get it. So, definitely that's a lack of submission. So, the question we got, right, is why women don't submit. But first, before we dive into that, let's read what the scripture says about it.
Okay.
It comes from Ephesians 5, 22. And it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord." So that's a powerful scripture, and it's an instructions on telling wives what to do in their relationship.
Yes.
So the big question, why is it not being done?
Yeah. For me, when I think about that, it's just several reasons. Always, again, I like to come back to self. We operate in a selfish nature. But I would say there would be several reasons why women don't submit or find difficulty in it. One of the main things is they don't understand the concept of it. And just the word submission comes off abrasive to a lot of people.
Okay, the word submission is abrasive.
Yeah, it can come off abrasive, like the woman will have to be told and do what the husband is saying for them to do.
Right, so the first thing is they don't know.
Yeah, they don't understand, and
they don't understand the word.
Right.
What submission means.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, submission is actually yielding to your husband, being in a humble way.
Right.
But many don't understand or look at it that way.
Yeah, they're probably thinking that submission makes them second.
Right.
And it puts the man in a position of making commandments, telling them what to do. And naturally, when you look at it from that perspective, no one wants that.
No.
Because I don't want anyone in a relationship that I consider as an equal partner to really be telling me what to do, giving me commandments and having authority over me, and they're superior and I'm inferior. And if you have that thought process about submission, then of course you're gonna look at it in a negatively way. And those are the wrong thought process.
Right. It's more so about trusting your spouse as being the leader in the home to make the decisions, but not saying that you are not a part of that. You know, you are a part of the decision making. Right. Women are a part of the decision making, and I think that's one of the big things that we miss too on that. So knowing that, hey, I'm a part of the decision making. You know, I have say so in it.
Right.
But I'm humbly submitting and yielding to my husband's ultimate decision.
All right, so it's a lack of understanding what the word submission means that creates a thought process of not wanting to submit. So what's some other reasons out there?
So also, I think of a loss of independence somewhat. Now, especially if you're into a new relationship, a new marriage, and you're yielding again to allow your husband to take, reins of the family. When you have been the person that's been doing it all along. So understanding and knowing that you're not giving up,
You're not totally giving independence.
Right. Just something that you have to learn, you have to work on, you have to consider the other person.
Right, because when you seemingly giving up your independence, it may seem like that you're losing something.
Right.
And, you're in a relationship now, so, there's a give and take. And I often think that sometimes when we think about independence, we think individually.
Yes.
I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that. And when you get in a relationship, those things change. You don't have to do everything in the relationship. You allow your partner to do things in the relationship to help you out. So naturally, some of the things you used to do, you're not going to do because you're going to allow your partner to do that for you. But at the same time, you still want some independence in the relationship, although you're dependent.
Right.
And, you want to be in a position where you're not totally dependent on your partner, where if something changed or they change their mind, don't want to be with you anymore, then you're devastated and don't know what to do or how to do. So there is some independence while being dependent in your relationship.
Yes. And something you said about partners doing things together this year,
Yeah, definitely.
That's really important. So you don't have to take on that strong stance of doing everything yourself,
Right, you don't have to.
You have help,
You got someone now can take out the garbage. You ain't got to take it out anymore, Charlie.
Great. That's outstanding.
What's another one out there?
So why women don't submit is a lack of trust involved.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you're not trusting, again here, yielding. You're not trusting your spouse to make the right decision.
Yeah, that's huge because the foundation of successful relationship is built on trust. So definitely I could see someone, if I don't trust you, why would I submit to you?
Yes.
Okay? I have to trust you in order to submit. Now, that doesn't mean that the person doesn't mean that you trust 100%, because that just doesn't exist. We're humans, right? Only God you can trust 100%. The Bible says only God's not a human; He does not lie. Mm-hmm. You and I, we may lie sometimes. So you may not be able to trust your partner 100%, but that should be a amount of trust that allows you to be able to submit to him. You want to be dependable, accountable. Those are things you want to trust. But at the same time, you have an understanding that no human being can be trusted 100% because we are in the flesh.
Yes, but I also feel like if that is an issue, a lack of trust, we need to dive in and see why.
Yeah, what's going on? Is it your own insecurity that causing a lack of trust, or is something that your partner doing that creates a lack of trust?
Definitely.
Yeah, it could be one or both. Okay, definitely you want to understand that, but at the same time, like you said, if you don't trust your partner, you're not going to submit to you. You're not. Definitely not. So that's another one that, women won't submit because they don't trust their partner. Okay?
Right. And these points are not, as we always say, not the end all, of
Right.
course, but there are some things that we like to look at. There's some things that we have noticed in counseling. So let's give one more here. Well, we have a couple more here. So a lack of leadership in the home. Maybe they haven't been reared in that way and understand and know. Maybe they haven't seen that.
Right, because the thing about it is stuff, right? When a woman is submitting to the man, she actually submitting to his leadership.
Right.
And if there is no leadership, how can I submit? So, for a woman to submit to the man, she is submitting to his leadership. Therefore, the man must have a type of leadership that causes the woman want to submit to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because that's founded on respect.
Right.
Submit to his leadership, but you got to have the leadership.
Gotta have the leadership, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have the leadership, then he'll look at the woman as being disrespectful.
Yes.
Why is she disrespecting me? Well, where's your leadership at? So definitely, that's another reason why women don't submit. We got any more?
One more here. So I would say understanding gender roles here.
Okay.
So what the woman expects of the man to do, that will be something that's challenging. If you have false expectations,
Right.
you're expecting your husband to be one way or your partner, and maybe they're not.
Right.
So then it makes you not want to submit.
Okay.
Understanding again with gender roles, and we it's a real touchy subject here because we always like to categorize what a woman does and what a man does.
Right. There's an expectation.
Yeah.
If you're a man, you take out the trash. If you're a woman, you cook.
Right. So when we don't fall into the line of what we expect as your gender you should do, then that could be an issue too.
Right, but I think a lot of times we come into relationships without discussing it.
Right.
We automatically assume because you're the woman that you cook, or you the man, you cut the grass and you take the trash out. Mm-hmm. And that's not all true in all relationships. So it does require a conversation of what the roles look like in your relationship.
Definitely.
What do I expect for you to do? What do you expect for me to do? And we, talk about those things and get a clear understanding, because if I'm expecting for you to do something and I haven't discussed it with you and then you don't do it, then I may get upset.
Yeah.
But I may not know.
Right.
I didn't know you wanted me to take out the trash. I thought you was going to take out the trash, Charlie. And then you can clearly see that those things does not occur. There is no submission. Yeah, because you get upset. My man supposed to be taking out the trash, but I got to take out the trash. So then why would you submit to that? You would not. So that's why a discussion needs to be done so there's an understanding of how we're going to conduct business in our relationship, with an understanding that gender doesn't necessarily tell the other partner what they're going to do.
Right. Because
I'm a man, this is what I'm going to do. Because I'm a woman, this is what I'm going to do. The man may cook and the woman may take out the trash.
Possible.
Possible. Okay. All right. So those are the reasons why women don't submit. So what happens when that does not occur?
When the submission is not occurring in the home. Okay. So quickly. So we just got 3 points on that.
All right. Let's hit it.
And they all kind of fall. They all can connect.
Okay.
So number 1, disorder.
Disorder
is going to occur.
Who's lead?
Right.
If there is no submission, there is no leadership. Okay, because for me to have leadership in the home, there must be someone submitting to it. And if no one is submitting to the leadership, then that's disorder.
Yeah.
You may have 2 leaders in the home.
Yes, and things are not going to operate or flow like they should.
Right.
When there's that power struggle. So it just makes me think going back to Genesis 3:16, when it was talked about the woman having the desire, God, the punishment of Adam and Eve, when he laid out the punishment. And one of the things for Eve was that she was going to have a desire to rule over her husband and be in that position. And that's the battle of the sexes right there. That's the power struggle.
So, as I'm understanding that women have a desire to rule.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
Men have a desire to rule. But God placed the man in that role of leadership of the home. So that power struggle somewhat still exists.
Right.
It still exists.
That falls on the why a woman don't submit, because she have a desire to rule. Mm-hmm. So she may not want to submit.
However, I also believe that if you are in your Christian walk and you, just like we talk about what Ephesians says,
right,
you want to submit to your spouse it's just like you were submitting to God, just as it states. So you want to do that Christian walk. You want to do what the word says. You want to submit to your spouse.
Right. I got it. The word does tell the wives to do that, but there's, plenty instances where that's not occurred.
Right.
And then for me, Genesis 3:16 is very powerful because it goes into the heart and mind of a woman, and God said, during that time that you want to rule, but I'm not going to allow you to rule. Mm-hmm. Wow. That is very powerful. And you clearly see why there's a struggle there. Okay. But submitting is a humbling experience that must be displayed in the home for that order to be created and dissolve the disorder that we're talking about if it does not occur.
Yeah. So also leads to frustration. That's another point.
I'm frustrated, y'all.
The frustration.
This thing ain't going right.
It's not going where it should be going. Yeah. We're struggling to figure out what needs to be done. Right.
Frustration.
Right. And then it leads to confusion, of course.
Confused. Who is the leader in this home?
Right.
You, Charlie? Me? I don't know.
Possible.
Who's the leader? Who is leading this home?
Yeah. So those three main things right there: disorder, frustration, confusion,
dysfunction.
Dysfunctional.
In the home.
Yes, right. Dysfunctional home set.
Then what are the kids learning?
Right.
They're learning the same thing, and then when they become adults, they'll struggle with it also.
Right. Definitely.
That is correct. So, what do we do? How should women submit? That is the big question and the major question.
Right. We got several points here again on how.
So let's dive into them, because this is the most important part of our discussion. And of course, the first one said, "Allow your man to lead."
Allow him to lead.
Right, and it's scripturally based. Because who is the head of the household?
Scripturally based.
For the husband.
The husband is being
the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. So there's a place where a woman want to understand that you have to allow your man to lead, and allowing your man to lead does not mean that he's going to be perfect in what he's doing.
Right.
He may make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that when you allow your man to lead and then he make a mistake and then you want to take over. Well, you done messes up. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to do it. That does not help. Okay? You want to allow your man to lead. Allow him to make mistakes. Allow him to grow into this role of being a leader so he can be effective. And you help him along the way. Okay? Don't try to take over.
Right.
Okay? So
be more of a support system respectively.
Right. So that goes into the next one. Trust in him. Trust him to make the right decision. Okay? And that doesn't mean that if he make the wrong decisions that you change it. Okay, then you know what you're doing. I'm finna do this. Well, he'll never learn. Mm-hmm. So, that there's a amount of trust, and we talked about earlier that the lack of trust will cause the woman not to submit. Right. But how do you gain the trust in order for the woman to submit? Y'all gotta go through some things.
That's the only way.
You gotta go through some things and stuff, right?
Some things.
You don't be in a position where you're trying to take the man position because in your mind he's not doing it right. No, help him do it right. We are partners in this. We're working this thing out together, and we're either going to succeed together or we're going to fail together. All right?
Yeah.
So what's next?
So we kind of touched a little bit about respecting his position as a leader, just as it says in Ephesians 5:23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body.
Right. Because, that respecting the position goes a long way in the way you think. Okay. And then the first two, we're talking about a lot of men lead first to make the right decision. When you respect the position, those two will line up. But if you are in the home and you're not respecting your man's position, you probably won't try to take over and be in that position.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely you want to have a amount of respect for your husband. You should be looking up to him.
If you don't, you'll be making decisions without even consulting.
Right. And then what that creates? The disorder,
Let's go back to that.
the frustration,
Yeah.
the confusion.
Right.
I didn't know about this decision. Why did you make the decision? Well, I made the decision because I needed to make the decision. He wasn't around. Then how is that respecting his position?
Right.
You're not respecting his position when you do that. Everything you want to do is together. We doing this thing together. We are making decisions. We're equal partners. Yes, I'm in the role of submit to your leadership and you in the leadership role, but that does not make one partner less than the other partner. They are both equal into this, and they're both trying to make this relationship work while respecting and understanding their roles in the relationship. Somebody got to lead, somebody got to submit. Both people can't submit, and both people can't lead. Right?
Right.
I mean, I didn't get a good right at you. It's like, wait a minute, is he wrong?
We're in this together. Because you said both people, somebody got to lead, somebody got to submit. But we're both submitting in some type of way.
No, what I'm saying that both cannot be submitting, nobody's leading at the same time.
Yeah.
And both can't be leading, nobody's submitting.
Yeah, want to clean that up.
Clean it up, y'all. Clean it up.
Right here.
Right, clean it up.
Yeah.
Definitely. I was wondering why you was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and so we can continue to wrap it up here. So here's another point here. Understanding the difference between the submission and the obedience. Understanding that you're the part about yielding rather than someone being told or commanded. Because you think about that as well, do we?
Right, because obedience, submission has some aspects of being obedient, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not totality obedience, because obedience does fall in the line with someone that's telling you what to do and you just comply with it.
Right.
Someone giving you commands and you just do it. You have no input. Submission allows you to yield to that, but you got input. You got say so. You are equal partners. Mm-hmm. Obedience, you don't have to be equal partner. You have no say so. It's like when God gives you a command, you don't question the command. Wait a minute, God, I think we should do this. No, God is in a position for you to be obedient to Him.
Yes.
And you have no input. Right. Submission is not like that. It has some aspects of being obedient, but you have input. You are partners. You're equal. You have say so. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's the difference between submission and
obedience.
That's
okay.
Right. Don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted, y'all.
That's right. Don't get it confused. Okay, so the last point is support, is being of a support system. And that's what, as we said, as wives have to understand, that's what we are. A support system, a helpmate.
Right.
Just as it states, for our spouse. So.
Yeah, support is huge for me.
It is.
I'm telling you, it's almost like we need that, to such a degree. It helps us mentally when we know our wives are supporting our decisions, what we're doing, our jobs, all those things occur. And, support doesn't mean agree.
Right.
We want to separate the two. Well, the only way I can support you, I got to agree with you. Then you don't understand what support means. Support means I'm support you in the decision you make, whether I agree with you or not. I could disagree with you, but I still can support you. Okay? Because you may come to a disagreement and someone think you're wrong, another person think you're right, but who's really wrong or right? So if you think your partner is wrong, doesn't mean you don't support them. You still support them because you might be wrong and they might be right. So definitely, for a man, it is huge when I'm trying to do things and trying to go places and stuff, and my spouse support me. Man, that elevates how I feel and how I think, because now I understand we're on the same team.
Right.
Yeah, you supported me, man. That is huge. That is good. Because we're in this together. And who should be my biggest fan?
Yes, I am your biggest fan.
You are.
I'm your biggest fan.
Okay, then let's get it right. Let's get it right now. All right. So definitely, and that's what we want. I want you to be my biggest fan. I want you to cheer me on, help me out. Okay, and it helps elevate my leadership and causes you to want to submit.
Right. Great conversation.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so we hit on a lot of points.
Right.
There's still more that could be said about this topic, but we really want to hit some major points. We talked about why women don't submit. What happens if that doesn't happen?
Submit, disorder in the home.
Is major. And then we talked about the really great points about what it looks like to submit and how to submit.
How should women submit? The most important part of this conversation.
Right. The trust, the respect, the understanding, being majorly of support system.
Allowing the man to lead.
Right. Respectively and humbly being that support system.
And understand the difference between submission and obedience. That is huge.
Yes, it is.
Because people can often get that confused. Mm-hmm. I ain't finna obey him. He ain't finna tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. He don't give me no commands.
Yeah.
And you get it twisted and think that's submission. Now you're not submitting.
Yeah, definitely. Can we yield to that power struggle that exists, that came in from the start,
Right.
So great topic, great conversation. We want to thank you guys for watching us today. It was an awesome discussion. So we touched about how now knowing both roles of submission. So we got a better understanding, right?
Right.
Okay, great. And another great show. Thanks for watching. RCRC, that is the Relationship Connection. I am Charlie Willis, mental health therapist.
I'm Ron Willis, Imagine Family Therapist.
And our contact information is listed below. Please watch us again next week. Thank you. We are here to equip, empower, and educate by helping couples thrive in their relationship. To see more from us, help support this ministry with a charitable contribution